It's Ron Reader Digs the Universe. I'm Ron Reader, and this is Ron Reader Digs the Universe. And tonight, the preacher who hated my guts. I'm not trashing religion, or even more specifically, Christianity with this episode tonight. My thoughts on Christianity and religion more generally are an entirely different discussion. Rather, I'm heavily criticizing a seemingly religious movement that has become extraordinarily powerful in terms of its influence and likely the greatest factor in Trump's rise to dictator status, the evangelicals. Let me tell you a quick story. Back in the early 2000s, when I was teaching high school theater, I was introduced to a guy on the social studies faculty. I had heard about him, a young, recently ordained Southern Baptist minister who was teaching high school classes while he was starting to get a career going in a ministry somewhere. I generally like Southern Baptist, having grown up as one myself, and looked forward to meeting him. But he didn't feel the same way about me. He stiffened when we shook hands, gave me the old dead fish. He was standoffish. I told him my name and he said, "I know," and looked at me like he was on to me or something. It was totally fucked up. And that was our introduction. We never spoke again. Meeting this guy really disturbed me. I didn't get the same warmth from him that I had almost always gotten from Southern Baptist for like my whole life up to that point. All I got was a cold-hearted stare. I had to piece this together later, but this guy had obviously heard that I was a liberal and consequently concluded that I was a demon or possessed or under the influence of a demon or a baby killer, something. That was how he was treating me. That was how he was looking at me. And at the time, I figured this was a one-off, just a single crazy guy in a redneck bird, but I was wrong. In fact, he was a canary in the coal mine for all the evangelicals. Now, don't get me wrong, not every single individual rank and file evangelical is like the preacher who hated my guts. Many of them are very likable individuals, but there are less of them these days, and a whole lot more evangelicals like my preacher friend, and they dominate the leadership. Their voices prevail, their thoughts shape the culture, their numbers are always growing, like it or not. This is what evangelicalism has become. A hateful political movement that accuses its enemies of being demons. And the politics of this political movement are decidedly fascist in nature. Over-the-top authoritarianism, intense hierarchy, racism, homophobia, contempt toward those perceived as outsiders, hate. All of these are pre-existing evangelical traits, and they're all perfect for a devoted Trump constituency. Trump is their perfect leader. That is, Trump didn't corrupt the evangelicals. They had already devolved to a point such that Trump must necessarily be their leader in their hateful obsession with liberals. They were corrupt well before Trump. When I was young, I used to think that it was just their weird preoccupation with sexual issues. Indeed, I parted with the Southern Baptists originally simply because I could not accept that my gay friends are going to hell. But sex with them is just the tip of the iceberg. They hate. Their entire religious point of view is based on who they hate and why, justified by warping and cherry-picking scripture and executed by bringing their ferocity and endless supply of cash into politics. I mean, they're forcing everyone to live out psycho, self-destructive evangelical mythology in the real world. They are a malevolent force, a cancer. Their influence must be neutralized because evangelicalism is dangerous. I'm Ron Reeder, and this has been Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. Join me, Ron Reeder, again next week for another episode of Ron Reeder Digs the Universe. I was a demon or possessed or under the influence of a demon or a baby killer, something.